Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. On today's show we welcome back TV personality Dee Kelly and Debra Ball from Debra Ball Housing Association, who've also brought along David Healy and Paul Holtham, who are here today to talk about working together on a brand new television series exclusive to us here at Big Centre TV. We welcome to the show our very own Dee Kelly and Debra Ball, who've both been guests on my show before and are here to announce a Cuppa TV exclusive. Debra Ball will be the very first subject of a new TV series presented by Dee Kelly. This will be filmed here at Big Centre TV. Guys, welcome. So we've got Dee, Debra, and welcome Paul and Dave. How exciting is this?
Do you know, it is really exciting.
Yes.
Because obviously it's a new TV venture.
Absolutely.
It's going to be 6 episodes.
Yes, which is great.
Yeah, and it's going to be obviously, you know, supported by Big Centre TV.
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to go out there and it's about giving a little bit back, to be fair, Monica.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be meeting normal, everyday people who've been very down on their luck and you know, they're just very lucky that they have found someone who can help them and guide them through, and their stories are just, they are just amazing, to be fair.
And Debra, I mean, what does it mean to you to be involved in a project like this? I mean, we're in the final stages of development at the moment. Each show's going to be different, so you're going to be featured in one of those shows. And what does that mean to you?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, these people have come a long way. They've achieved such a lot. They came to us, as Dee just said, down on the luck. And they've just been remarkable.
Now, for those who haven't seen the show perhaps previously when you were on the show before, Debra, just explain a little bit about what you do.
We house people that want to make a difference with their life, not stay on benefits as a lifestyle. They want to improve, they want to move on, they want to integrate into the community and basically come off benefits and further their life. They've come to us really down on the luck, where they've been turned away for whatever reason, mainly because there's no housing, and maybe they've got a bit of history that we find that will stop them from being housed, but we treat them as a person and we help them with the problems, we provide support, we're there when they need us, and we believe that having a home, they can then move on with their life. Without a home, they've got nothing.
I think there's still a very big stigma attached to people with maybe with mental health issues or criminal records or that think, you know, because they've had that bit of a past, that no one will give them the time of day kind of thing.
We've spoken about mental health issues here on Cuppa TV, and it's a massive issue, and people don't really seem to perhaps take it as seriously as as they should do. And can I bring in you, Paul? So, Paul, what brought you to be involved with Debra?
Well, I was injured on active service. I was in the armed forces, and when I left the army, I started suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder. And early this year, I split up with my family, my wife and my children, and I was made homeless. And I applied to the Veterans Agency, tried to get me accommodation, but they couldn't sort it out, so they put me in touch with Stoneham Veterans Agency, and they couldn't help me. So that put me in touch with Debra Ball.
So that's how you came to sort of get involved. And currently now you're being housed, I assume, with Debra, and getting lots of support as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And what about for you, Dave? And may I bring you in as well?
Yeah, of course. So basically, obviously, as you said, I was down on my luck as well at the time. And at the time I was homeless. I had a relationship breakdown due to me being depressed. And you mentioned the mental illness. I was really down. Some days I couldn't talk to people. My anxiety was above and beyond. Just life at the time wasn't worth living. I knew obviously some of the places in Warsaw that were there for the homeless, and I'd experienced them in the past, and I didn't want to go to them. So I went to Debra Ball. When I first went in, I was really nervous. It was a bit of a wreck, but Debbie got me a property that day. Since then, she's been there. She's helped me out with a team, of course, and we've been moving on to the point now where I'm actually trying to set up my own business to become self-employed. And obviously Debbie, is helping me do that. So.
I mean, because you've obviously a star of Benefit Street, Dee, so you know exactly how hard it can be. Because people have watched you and watched you progress, you know, you're no longer on benefits, and they've watched you progress. And do you think there is still a stigma attached to all of that?
There is completely. I mean, the difference with us is that I think because you're constantly being blocked and constantly being turned away and constantly being felt that you are the lowest of the low, what made us so special is that we all helped each other. But not everybody's got that. I mean, you've gone from sleeping on the canals, Paul. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like to wanting to kill yourself. It's like, it's so, you know, it is so hard. And not everybody wants to point you in the right direction. It's as if you get beaten down and down and down, and then all of a sudden you will find that one person
who can help.
But it's still an uphill climb, isn't it? Because
It is, yeah.
you don't feel that. It's sort of like, hang on a minute, they've got to want something else out of here. They can't just be wanting to help me. But in reality, that's what you and your team do,
that's
Deborah.
right,
And is that what you feel? How do you feel about that, Deborah? When, you know, people come to you?
Yeah, well, you know, all of our staff have experienced something in their lives, so including myself, where we can relate to them and understand them. I mean, I don't take a penny off them. You know, we recognise them, they need help. Like Dee said, it is a stigma. People like to beat you down. They want you to stay there, mainly because they want to feel good themselves, and you know, they want to make you feel worthless. Well, everybody is worth something, and you know, I try and develop them as much as possible to put them where they want to be. You know, and
It's giving them a chance,
Yes.
almost.
Definitely.
And did you feel that, you know, without meeting Deborah, where would your life have been?
Well, like I said, I applied to Birmingham City Council and I was refused point blank for a one-bed flat
And why
and
were
for
you
shared
refused?
accommodation.
Just-
They give me no excuse, just refused.
Okay.
So,
That left
Yeah.
you with no choice, really.
well, I applied to Sandwell as well,
Yes.
the Walsall Council, and they refused. They even refused to pay the backdated rent. So,
I think that's the scary thing, really, when you sort of take into account that, you know, when you were younger, you decided that what you wanted to do is go out there and fight for your country, you know, to, you know, serve to protect the people of this country, and you get injured, you know, in active duty, and you come back and bang, you know, there's absolutely nothing there for you. It's like...
Were you diagnosed with your
yeah,
post?
diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Which is, you know, that's a recognisable, you know, illness.
I think a lot of people used to bat it off a bit like the depression.
They
You
did,
know, depression
yes.
was never a recognised,
No.
you know, medical illness either.
And there's still that stigma as well with depression
completely.
in this
It's, you know,
country.
it's the word, isn't it? Stress, depression. It's like, but obviously, you know, we don't know what half of these people in the armed forces do actually witness on a day-to-day basis. But I am glad it has actually been recognised. But it still didn't sort of help
me
you
a lot.
much, did
It's
it?
cost me a lot.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, it did. You say it cost you a lot, obviously your family
Yeah,
and your
definitely,
support.
yeah.
And, you know, with Deborah's support, where would you have been? Paul?
I don't really know, to tell you the truth. Probably dead now. And that's being honest.
And
Oh,
what would
yeah.
you say, Dave, the same?
Yeah, the truth being told, I can't imagine. That I don't know and I don't want to know. I mean, it's really frustrating because, you know, like Paul said, he was a serviceman and he served his country, and the government just turned his back on him. In the same way, I feel the same. I'm a person who's worked all my life. From the age of 12, I used to go out. I used to skip school, go work on markets in Birkenhead, and then I moved to Birmingham, near where Dee lived actually. I worked on the Birmingham market at 15, and I managed to get my GCSEs. I went to college. I got a HND, and yeah, I've always worked up until the point where I got depression, and then I felt too ill to work, and at that point, after paying, you know, 8 years of taxes, for the government to say to me, you know, well, we don't want to help you, and to have somebody like Debbie, who's, you know, never met me and helped me that day.
And I mean, do you
it's
still
amazing.
think that there is this stigma with depression, all these
Yeah,
illnesses where
definitely.
perhaps
Yeah,
people
definitely.
can't quite put in a box, so they don't quite know where to put you? Do you find that, Deborah,
Yeah.
when people come to you?
Yeah, they can't see it, can they, like a broken leg?
Yeah.
And they can't sort of relate to it or identify it. You know, you've got people making assessments that are not qualified, you know, whether they're entitled to something or not, whether they're entitled to housing, because they're not a medical person normally that make those assessments for housing. So they're turning people away at the lowest, and obviously
And appearances, basically, isn't it?
Yes, and background, like you've touched upon.
Do you find that quite shocking, Dee?
Do you know, hand on heart, I'd like to. No, I don't, and that's the that's the scary thing, is that I think I'd be more shocked if I did find it shocking, because I think that's just how society is nowadays. It's like a whole different sort of checklist now, isn't it, to fill in criteria? But there's just so many people out there that that haven't found people like the Debra Ball Association just yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
They will do now. They will do now. And I mean, Deborah, you've helped these two guys here, but there's many more.
Oh,
that
yes,
you've helped.
yeah, many.
Women and men.
Yes,
that you've
and
helped.
families,
And
single parents.
So a whole array of people that come to you for help and support.
It's just anyone that needs that help.
Every time you go into the office, you have to pop in, obviously, and say hello every now and again in the town.
Well, of course.
There's always somebody in there. There's always somebody helping them.
Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break now, so hang on there just for a minute. So come back and join us again just after the break. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. I'm still here with Dee, Deborah, Dave and Paul, and we're talking about their new exciting project that's going to happen very, very soon. But Deborah, just before the break, we were talking about, guys, you shared your stories with us, which, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that today. But Deborah, as an association, can you just tell us a little bit about what you actually do?
Yeah, we guide people and support people, apart from we don't just provide housing. Yeah. So we believe, as I've mentioned before, we start with the housing and then we identify their needs, where they want to move to in relation of maybe work, or how they need further help with
training, maybe
anything.
Yes.
Adult education, it can be anything. And we build a programme around the individual, and we guide them and advise them, and also support them, of course, and point them in the right direction as we network with other local businesses and companies. And we provide exactly what they need to move on and achieve their goals, basically.
So how long does that process take? I mean, guys, how long have you sort of been in that process?
Well, it's an individual thing.
Can it be 1 month, 2 months, 1 year?
Well, I've been in Debra Ball housing since February this year, and everything's on the up and up for me.
We don't just move them on with the work and obviously the health, whatever. We move them on with the accommodation as well, because they may come to us, such as Dave did in an apartment. Now he's just moved into a house where he can have his children. Because he has moved on in life, then we move them on with the accommodation.
Yes.
And it's an incentive then for them as well to want to move on in life.
To progress almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like you don't abandon them, do you know what I mean? And that's like a lot of the problems with other people is that, like, with the massive sort of the councils or whatever, maybe once you find, the support isn't there. You've got like the big housing department, their sort of job is to find you a house. But like the difference with you is it's like, if you'd have just been moved into your house and still been left on your own, you probably wouldn't be in a better situation,
No,
and I think it is like the aftercare as well.
Sometimes having that sort of a big blanket put around you and making you feel that you're part of the community.
I've never dreamed I'd moved into a lovely little house like I have. Yeah. It's beautiful, lovely little bedroomed house. Yeah. And I never thought, as a single man, I'd ever qualify for anything like that.
And I mean, what do you see the future, Deborah, for you with what you're doing?
Well, obviously, we're growing. We want to take it to other areas as well. We have
because
been
you're just in Warsaw
at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, we have been asked by other authorities. They are looking at us, to be honest, to develop it in their areas because it's much needed. But unfortunately, in the Warsaw area, we've had our exempt status, which is a supportive element of the benefit, removed.
What does that mean for you?
Well, it means that these guys now, because we're not an exempt provider and have a support element of the benefit to support the guys, we don't have to provide support. But we have decided we don't use the benefit to run a business, is what they're saying, basically. We don't do that. We're still going to offer the support for these guys. It just means that the accommodation that we provide, there will be a shortfall the rent. But we have decided that we're going to make that shortfall up.
Who pays that shortfall, Debbie?
I do.
And the staff. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Out of your own pocket?
And
Yes,
this
we
is
do,
out of their wages, they actually subsidise rent for
Not
these
just
people. No,
like the
no,
Paul
not
and
at
Dave on
all.
the sofa, but for other people as well.
Not at all. And
Dave,
that's how
just-
passionate they are,
Yeah.
you know. And in reality, it's like, it just shouldn't happen. You know, and it's not me saying stop it, because that's you know, it's like your team. It's
Just
just
the care and
Yes.
the support as well. It's not just about the housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dave?
Exactly what I was going to say. It's not just the housing that they're paying out of their own pocket. They're giving the support as well. You know, as I said, you know, previously, I'm planning on starting my own business,
Yes.
and Debbie's here helping me. She's helping me with office furniture. She's obviously got me my house so I can have an office in the house, and she's helping me build a business plan. She's explaining, you know, helping with building a website, everything that, you know.
Because you've had this support and help, does it make you want to do something for the guys that are
definitely.
still,
Yeah.
you know, perhaps you know,
The future
military?
looks a lot brighter for
Yeah.
me. First time in 25 years.
when you finally got that person or
Yes.
that group of
Yeah.
people that take time out to help somebody, that sort of, you know, like these guys here, it gives you that positive feeling where you're thinking, hang on a minute, you know, I can maybe go on and sort of help someone. It's like the domino effect, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It
It's
is,
yeah.
I'm
like,
doing voluntary work now.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes life just puts you into a circumstance
Yeah.
that you didn't ever think
could
you
be
were
anyone.
going to be, and it could be anyone.
Yeah.
It is indiscriminate. It
You
could
play
be,
with the
it doesn't
cards
matter
you dealt
how
with,
much
don't
money
you? And
or
it's
poor
like,
or
yeah.
whatever you
But
are.
the sad thing about it is, I mean, the person that stipulates whether you are entitled
Yes.
to provide support and whether you don't in the authority, who are they to say these guys don't and
Yeah.
we don't provide it? Nobody's actually come to me and said, let's sit down with you, Deb.
Yeah.
Let's see what you actually
it
do.
shouldn't be a ticket, it should be, you know, it should be available to anybody
That's
who
right.
needs it.
Not be against
It's
the people, because
like,
really,
yeah.
it's these guys
Yeah.
who suffer.
Yeah.
And is there anybody else doing what you do, Deborah?
No, not as
in
far
the
as I'm
in the
aware.
And this is
country?
what I find really
So,
strange. you know,
Dee,
it's
you're going to
like-
be, you know, hosting this new series.
Yes, I am.
Deborah's just going to be one of the shows. So I should imagine we're also going to be looking at, you know, Calais. I understand we're going to go down to
Yeah,
Calais.
it's basically to go sort of try and find out why
Prisons.
so many people, you know, feel that it'd be, you know, it'd benefit them more living and claiming welfare in this country. You know, going again, like hopefully to visit like a prison to find out, you know, it's basically, I think it's to let them know as well, because I think once you come out of prison, you've served a sentence. What helps out there for you in reality? You know, you just report to a probation officer, a couple of times a week, then that goes down and then you're kind of just left to your own. It's
Yeah.
like, so, you know, it's such a wide area, and I've just let people, you know, that there is help out there. I mean,
And how do you feel people are going to react to you hosting a show like that, Dee?
do you know, that's the nervous laugh. I fire that in every now and again. Do you know what it is, hand on heart? I really don't care, because to me, this is my chance to meet people, because like, if I wasn't in this, I'd have never met Paul or Dave or Deborah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you know me, I suppose I'm classed as a little bit of a busybody. I just kind of, you know, like to get in there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like,
It's going to be challenging.
it will be challenging.
And
Yeah,
quite
will be
highlighting.
challenging.
Highlighting the problems
It
that
is.
happen
I
every
think
day.
there'll be
Yes.
quite a few people out there who won't be very happy with what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, there's always been quite a few people out there who aren't happy with what I'm doing, and I obviously haven't let them bother me before. But you know what I mean? You know, it's one of them, isn't it? I'll sit there, I'll listen to a few stories, probably cry my eyes out after, you know, because it's about the real world,
Yes.
isn't it? It's like, and that's
reality.
the difference.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's wonderful
I
that
think it's
you're
the
going to be
darker
doing.
side of
yes,
reality.
yes,
So,
yeah.
It's the side that people don't want to know, really.
No,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is. It's wonderful that we're going to be doing it here at Big Centre TV. And you know, was that important to you as well, Dee? Being, you know, from the West Midlands, did you want to stay with someone at a local station?
It's about that, isn't it? It's about, you know, it always has kind of been for me from the start about everything that I'm doing is challenging. Like I'm championing the youth of Birmingham with the Prince's Trust. You know, it's and the West Midlands it's where my heart is, isn't it? Basically, and it's great now that we have the opportunity with Big Centre TV. Obviously, it's based in Walsall. We haven't had anything like this in in the Midlands
haven't,
from
no.
you know, back
Yeah.
in probably like the 90s, is it?
And
when?
again, you know, it's important for you, Deborah, to highlight the cases, you know,
yeah.
Paul and Dave who've come along today.
Yeah. Not only that, I'm a Walsall person.
Yes.
My business is here. I live
Yeah.
within the Walsall borough. I do want to see change as well for Walsall. And I think that the place to start is exactly where I'm starting, at ground roots.
Home is where
with
the heart
people.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Walsall could be a lot better. It just needs a lot of people working together. But maybe, you know, and I should, you know, I feel that they should be working with us.
Yes.
You know, not pushing us away.
That's it.
You know,
you are
We're
coming
here.
up against like brick walls,
Oh, we
aren't
are.
you? And I
Yeah.
can't understand that. It's like there's a lot of people out
Yeah.
there that are trying to scupper the good that you're doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, well, why? Because you're doing good.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
you know, it's
I
like,
find
there
that,
should-
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised there's not more
And what
people
would you
willing
say?
to help
What would
you.
you say to that,
I
guys?
think maybe it's just embarrassment that she's not even been on the scene that long, and she's doing all this good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously the council, the government have been here since the, you know, the very beginning, and they're not offering the kind of the level of support that
She's
these,
doing what
that is
the
given.
government or local governments are not prepared to do.
Yeah, I was going to
What
say
they
to
should be
Paul,
doing.
what would you say to people that are perhaps watching this and perhaps, you know, in a similar situation or know somebody in a similar situation? What would you say to them?
Get in touch with Debra Ball.
Stole my line.
Would you say the same? Dave?
Exactly
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've quite frankly said it changed your lives
Yeah,
around.
definitely.
Would you say
Definitely.
the same, Dave, as well? And I mean, Dee, this is going to be a challenge. It's a challenging but a great series, a great idea.
I think so.
And, you
I
know, and
think
it'd be
so.
interesting to see what comes out of the series
Yeah.
and how people are going to react to it.
It is heartbreaking as well. You have got that side of it, and it's nice to see people pulling through that, and you know, seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Basically.
Maybe on an emotional side, I'm
Yeah.
probably not the best person. For I'm just like, you know, bags full of tissues. I am a bit of a highly emotional person.
that's
but,
okay, though,
but I
you
think
know.
that
We're
makes
real
it kind of
people.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're
It's
real
real life,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what we will.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got to leave it there, I'm afraid. But thank you so much, all of you, for joining me today.
It's a pleasure.
actually, and I'm just so excited to be part of the project. Well done. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So that's it for today's show. I'd like to thank Dee, Deborah, Paul, and Dave for joining me today. And we'd love to hear from you. So please do get in touch with us, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.